Welcome, professional bodgerites. I'm back, kind of, temporary, very basis, so nothing much to change otherwise, but whilst I've not been able to work much on the Mini, or do anything really, I have been collecting some parts. So it's a little bit of a parts video. Let's check them out. First things first, we managed to get some new doors. Well, they're obviously not new, but they're in pretty good condition. The only problem with this door is a little bit of rust at the bottom. It's probably savable. I think we sand it back, treat it, bit of filler. Obviously, it used to be some kind of an orange colour, but they are in really good condition. Same with the driver's door. This one's actually in almost perfect condition, bar obviously the paintwork, but there's no rust at all on the bottom. Handles, everything. And the weird thing with this, the passenger door comes with the glass, and even the winders, that saves you some money in the long run. But, as I said, the weird thing, the driver's door does not. It's just gutted. I think it's going to be used for a stock car or something, but probably savable because the door that came with the car has still got the glass and the winder. I might be able to maybe take this piece out of this one and weld it into that door. We'll have to see, but I've got all the parts I need. To be fair, this door isn't actually that bad. The worst case, I might be able to swap the skins. You know, I've got some options. But still, some new doors. That's not all. We've got a bonnet as well. Surprisingly good condition. Again, needs a bit of minor bodywork. I think there's a dent in it somewhere and whatever else. But what it means is I can finally try and put the front end on properly. As you can see, it's sort of loosely tied in with these things and some cable ties. But we can see problem childs already. Big issues. Bonnet gap city. A lot of that is this wing. Doesn't seem to go on very well, whether it's because I've done this panel wrong or as I've read a lot online and told by a lot of you guys, these panels are dreadful. They don't quite fit properly. So I think I'm going to have to probably do to get this to work is trim this inside edge. I know some people will be shouting at me for saying it, or what I should be doing is just buying a whole new one of these because it still needs a bit of work in like these areas and stuff. So maybe I'll just do that, but we'll see. We'll see what I'm going to do. Worst case otherwise, I'm going to trim the inside edge of this thing all the way down there so there's no lip, and I should be able to press it in a bit further, and then that means this should press in that way a bit further and go from there. As you remember, the plan realistically is to make a flip front end, so I could weld all the front end together and clip it together with the bonnet on it and see how far off it is, work it out from there. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfectly neat, like I said. It's not going to be like a concourse car or nothing. It's going to be a fresh it round, hopefully take it to a track day kind of car. So yeah, that's the next plan. So temporary door was pushed into position, mostly because I totally forgot to put the hinges in, but first the idea, but luckily the frame comes off so we can still bolt them on. As you can see, one hell of a gap. So this side I wasn't quite sure where the A-pillar went. I think it would put flush against this kind of thing and on the bottom, but turns out it does not. No bother, I can just cut them there and there, down the bottom, bring them back just a little bit. Ideally what I should have done is what I did with the other side, put the door in place and then done that first. But still, you get the idea. And then obviously, so this crappy door will have one of those decent doors, and it should hopefully fit pretty well once we move this back a bit. The thing I've got that's a bit of an issue, other than the gap, which is slowly improving because I've been bending the inside edge rather than cut it yet. One is the bonnet gap. Obviously this will push in a bit though, so fair enough. But it's this. As you can see, there's a fair old overhang on the bonnet, so I'm assuming the wings would have to come forward a bit more. I don't want to get that wrong. So that's the next time I'm here, that's the next plan. I'm going to guess when you bolt these on, it's probably like a spacer that goes, I mean this is literally holding on with an old cutting disc and yada yada for now. I'm assuming there's going to be a bit of a space behind this that'll pull the front end out a little bit. But yeah, that's a new problem. Anyone knows? Drop me a comment. Is there supposed to be a spacer there? Push the front end out? I don't ever remember there being an overhang on a bonnet like that. It doesn't look right. So yeah, let me know. Otherwise, see this side, much better. Goes all the way to the back, which is when I put the door on, it's very close. If anything, this probably needs to get a tiny bit forward, but it's much better. Never mind all this. I'm going to sort this out yet, don't you worry. I haven't cleaned any of it up, that's half the problem. And this bit needs replacing. But I have got a spare panel in the mess over there somewhere. But still, you get the idea. This side would look pretty good otherwise. And this gap here, pretty tight, but again, it still needs to be pushed over that way, so yeah. Also found another problem with this thing. Started tacking a bit more with the grinder and found my welds. It wasn't done when I was extra bad at welding. Yeah, didn't work out. Tried to grind it to see if I can get it flatter and hit it with a hammer and cracked it, so I will have to. I knew we'd have to do it again anyway. I'm going to have to try and re-weld it and maybe flatten it in again. And again, just touch of filler, happy hoe. Same with this. See, it's much shinier. Still looks like crap, but obviously fill in the weld again, maybe. Same thing. Not really, you can see very well. I started to weld. Again, probably completely wrong, but welded it across here. Again, I haven't cleaned any of it up either, so it looks like crap, but yeah, you get the idea. I did have the unprofessional bodger, my brother, he's got to be called that, much better at welding than me, come along and did a bunch of welding in the boot for me. So as you can see, again, still not finished yet, but he has done a much better job than me. It's starting to corrode a little bit because it was done a bit ago, but you get the idea. I'm going to finish it up in the corners down there still. Probably put some strengthening braces in. I'm supposed to buy them for here, but yeah. Same on this side. As you can see, there's a bit of a hole here. Oh dear. So we're just going to cut a piece out and weld it in there and make it fit. Obviously clamp all this back end together a bit better. But yeah, let's get in there. It's one whole solid piece now. But this piece here needs a bit grinding more. And then we're going to set the battery box in and pretty much the boot is done. Another problem I've got, although the boot opening and everything's all in the right shape, is when I've done it, these are not quite lined up properly. So one of the jobs in the future to make the boot lid fit properly is to weld these up and just re-drill the holes. They're very slightly off basically, but it'll all clip on perfect, so it's not really the end of the world. It just means I put this in slightly that way. Professional bodger, that's what I do. This all needs finishing here, basically welding together, weld a seam along it, neaten it all up, etc, etc. Not that you can see it very well in there, but we did a bit of repair in here. Still got to finish that obviously. So we cut as much rust out as we could possibly get, and there's some down there, still got to finish that bit yet obviously. We started making panels to go in. So hopefully we'll get all the way along, and then that'll be all good in there. So yeah, hopefully the lens on this camera is not too scuffed either, because I can see there is a big old chip out of it. I did drop the grinder on it, so yeah. We do need to upgrade the camera, that will be happening soon. Otherwise, remember to like and subscribe. Let's get me to 1,000 by the end of the year. Surprise me, and then yeah, hopefully I'll be in a better position where I can do a bit more work on our Mini. Starting to look like a Mini again. A very broken Mini, but a Mini nevertheless. Even found my badge. Check it out.